Sometimes uncovering our own personal needs can be challenging, and doesn't always come naturally. We expect that we will simply know and recognize our own inner needs and desires, but for some people learning about themselves is a process which takes time and reflection. While it might not always be an easy question to ask, learning about our own inner needs is a vital part of being content within ourselves. In order to go after the things we want, as well as make relationships work, we must understand the things we need most from ourselves and from others. INTPs might not focus on their own internal or emotional needs, since they become more drawn to learning and looking at the facts around them. Information is so important to them, and so for the INTP, sometimes diving into their own thoughts can actually deter them from focusing on their needs. It is important for them to make time to balance these things out so that they don't become overwhelmed or exhausted. Like anyone, the INTP has needs, some of which are emotional while others are much more practical. Here are just a few of those truly essential needs for the INTP personality type. INTP needs. 1. Space to themselves. As introverts, one of the most vital needs the INTP has is their need to be alone. They need space to think things through and process the many thoughts and ideas inside of their minds. For the INTP, having plenty of time completely to themselves isn't just a pleasantry but something they require. While some people might not fully understand this and might take it as a personal insult, the INTP needs to set these boundaries. It is best if they can find a way to explain this need, so that people recognize it isn't to hurt or offend but simply about the INTP's need for space and time to think. They have so much going on inside of their minds, and having time to process this is what helps the INTP come to useful conclusions, as well as understand the people around them better. INTPs need a lot of alone time, but they also need space to process things and make their own choices. Without having some sort of independence in their lives, they will feel suffocated. The INTP can feel smothered fairly easily, even by people they love. Their constant expectations often weigh down the INTP and leave them feeling inadequate. Without the proper space from others, they will start to feel overwhelmed by these thoughts and feelings. INTPs care about their loved ones, but they are independent people who really need to find the balance of alone time and connection with others. 2. Imagination and ideas. For the INTP, new ideas and things to explore is truly an important part of their lives. They need to be able to explore different paths and options without feeling tied down. Stagnancy is likely to make the INTP very unable, and they will feel trapped by this. Without constant progress and new paths to venture down, the INTP won't feel like themselves. They need to be able to tap into their full potential and imagination, which means being able to try new things. Their inner minds are filled with new ideas and theories, and so they do best when they can explore these things freely. This does sometimes mean having to push through more doors in their lives, in hopes of gaining access to opportunities which will help them reach this full potential. For the INTP, connecting with people who can help open these doors and allow the INTP space to explore their inner minds and imagination is really the best situation for them. Without these open doors and options, the INTP will feel a bit stuck and likely grow complacent. 3. Creative outlets. INTPs not only need room for new ideas, they also need a way to express their creative side. Many INTPs can neglect this part of themselves in favor of logic and more practical things. They focus on information and want to analyze things in order to be as precise and accurate as possible. This focus can cause the INTP to forget about their more creative side, which is still an important part of who they are. For the INTP, exploring this part of their creative mind is also a great sense of accomplishment and helps them open themselves up to even more ideas and possibilities. Without finding some sort of creative outlet, they might find themselves feeling anxious without fully knowing why. Because of this, they often neglect this part of themselves, which really isn't good for them. 4. Freedom without constant obligations. INTPs need some freedom in their lives, and the ability to make their own choices. While they care for their loved but, they don't feel comfortable constantly feeling obligated to them. INTPs want to do nice things for those around them, but they want to do it of their own free will. Having someone places expectations onto the INTP makes them feel stressed and unhappy. They want to be able to set their own goals and not feel this constant pressure. The INTP needs more freedom and the ability to make choices without feeling like they owe everyone a constant explanation for their actions and choices. 5. True understanding. INTPs often crave feeling understood, at least on some level they need this from those around them. If the INTP can find at least one person who sees beyond their walls and exterior, then it will bring them a great sense of comfort. They might struggle to really rely on this though, and so they need to learn to open themselves up a bit more to people who truly care. INTPs are often fearful that people will not be worth trusting, and this is something which makes it hard for them to expose their vulnerable side. This can be challenging for the INTP, since they are fearful of being misunderstood but also want to be able to trust in others and connect with them.